and welcome back. In this lesson, we will add one more function to our portfolio component. And this function is called open new tab. So whenever a user clicks on this, he will be redirected to a new tab that will open our quiz. So let's add this function. So this comes in our portfolio component next to our hover and unhover functions. Okay, so this function opens URL that we define here, and this is practically it. And we have to only add the event to our hover portfolio so that whenever somebody clicks, this triggers and opens a new tab. Okay, so this is from the last time, but now we want to add one more little cutie thing, and this is the arrow that points that there is something hiding below the initial page. So when somebody comes, he sees this first part, but we need an arrow that will show that there is something below. So how do we make this arrow? We basically found another this font awesome icon, so we will use that one, and the arrow will be displayed on our web page. So we add it to our HTML here, so this comes right after the bio. Okay, so we have an arrow. Let's see. Okay, the arrow is here, but it looks super ugly, so let's style it. So we will have to create an arrow class. Arrow class is actually already created here, as you can see, but we have to put it in our CSS. So we add arrow, position relative, font size 3em, color gray, and there will be also an animation. But right now there is no code for the animation, so we also have to add this. We call our animation bounce because we want this arrow to bounce up and down. So how do we do animations? We can check this page. And also in general, whenever you want to do some certain thing with CSS, you can just Google CSS tricks or CSS animation and so on, and you will find some nice examples. This one will show us how to do animation with keyframes. Let's see it here. So we will have to create a keyframe called bounce. So this is the basic declaration, how we use it, but we will use this one that has multiple steps. So we create a keyframe with a name, and then we say at the beginning, let the font size be 10 in 30% of the time. So the whole time is 100%, so after 30% of the time, change the size to 15 and then change it back to 12. But in our case, we don't want to change the size, we want to change the position. So let's copy this part. So we have keyframes called bounce, and at the beginning, the position is bottom 50 pixels. After 70% of the time, it changes position to 100 from the bottom, changes the color, and then back to bottom 50, like at the beginning. So let's see if this thing works. Yes, our arrow is jumping up and down. So you can check here, like you can change, maybe you want it to jump even more. So let's try what happens if we set 200. Oof, a little bit too high. So let's put it back to 100. Maybe we can change the color to pink. Let's see how would this work. So play around, you can try out different things, but this is one possibility. And if you want to try out something totally crazy, go Google, see what other examples are here, what is possible, and you can maybe come up with something even nicer. This I would suggest maybe to save CSS tricks. We can pull it into our page, but in general, also if you just Google CSS and certain feature, you can find a lot of pages showing examples, so no worries about that. So okay, let's see. We have a page that takes the picture and description from GitHub. We have a jumpy arrow. We have a nice component that changes when we hover. We also change the background color with scrolling. Here we have a little text, and at the end we also have links to our contact. Perfect. So now what's missing is our quiz app. So when the user will click, he will be redirected to our quiz app, so we have to create one. Let's see you in the next lesson.